Where are you going?
First things first.
No!
What's wrong?
Oh, God.
Oh, I haven't played in so long.
Oh my God. This is exactly Bob's daydream.
I have not picked up the banjo in a long time. This is not a banjo moment.
Not a banjo moment.
Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure the Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
All right!
Ooh-wee, ooh, I look just like Chip Chipperoo. Oh, and you're...
Mary Tyler Moore?
There you go.
I did like that Chip Chipperoo.
Thank you. Chip Chipperoo, everyone. Before we get to this episode itself, before we get to those end credits to this episode, before we get to Skylar's sides, we have a new patron to thank.
Oh, yay. What
and
a
we
lead
have
up.
to a burger pun their name.
Let's hear it.
So thank you very much, Fuzzy Marker. Love that name so much. I asked Fuzzy Marker if Fuzzy Marker wanted me to burger pun the name Fuzzy Marker, and they said, absolutely. So moving forward, Fuzzy Marker, you will be known as the Fungi Starter Burger. Skylar, explain that one.
Okay, we had to put our heads together on this one. So it's a mushroom slider that is an appetizer, a burger appetizer before your actual burger.
It's like Skylar's sides, the fun facts before the fun facts. This is a burger before the burger. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
So-
but mushroom, like a Gruyere or Swiss, some caramelized onions.
I think we could come up with something pretty damn good
Yeah.
for the Fungi Starter Burger.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Fuzzy Marker. We're so excited to have you on Patreon. We hope you're enjoying all those bonus episodes we have there. We hope you're in the Discord interacting with everyone. They're amazing. And if you'd like to have your name burger punned on the show right here and get all of that extra goody stuff over there at Patreon, we are at patreon.com/Bob's Credits. It's called the Bob's Credits Secret Menu. Go have some fun.
Woo woo.
I kick it over to you, Skylar.
Are you ready for Skylar Sides, the fun facts before the fun facts?
Dish it, girl.
I have broken my own rule. I feel like every week I break my own Skylar Sides rule. Technically, this fun fact should wait until next season Halloween's episode. So, I just found out that the B story from that episode, where Teddy as the sexy nurse takes care of Bob after he broke his leg, is almost beat for beat the plot of Misery.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that?
Sure, yeah.
You already knew that.
No, now that you mention it, yeah, of course, it's...
But I'm not like, I'm telling you it is beat for beat.
Okay.
Now, Screen Rant pointed this out for me, but I went and did some deep dives because Max and I, as he's just mentioned recently, we watch a horror film every day in October, the month of October. We recently watched Misery, not for the first time. It's one of my favorite, like, spooky season films.
And
it really
movies
holds
in
up.
general, it's so good.
It's so good. So if you have not watched Misery or read the Stephen King book Misery, just fast forward through this. I think what you should do is treat yourself tonight. Go watch Misery. It's the perfect length. It's the perfect pace. Amazing acting. Go watch that. And then go watch Wolf of Wharf Street and then come back to this. No, finish the episode, but then you can come back to this.
What you want to do is fast forward so you don't get any spoilers here, and then go watch the episode, and then listen to the rest of this episode, and then go watch Misery, and then go watch the Wolf of Wharf Street.
Oh my gosh,
Does
I
everyone
knew
get that?
this was going to be a hard one to
My
explain.
brain is broken.
It only took us 9 minutes
That's
to break our brains.
Yeah, that might be a record for us.
Yeah. Okay, so Screen Rant pointed this out to me, And so then I went and rewatched this B story, and I was blown away by all the little hidden misery facts that I found.
Okay, first of all, Teddy's the nurse.
First of all, Teddy's a nurse.
Mhm.
How great is that? If you don't know, well, you should know because you've watched Misery now.
You did everything we just told you to do, so you do know.
So Annie is a nurse, a fired nurse. Okay, that's one. Two, when there's news footage of what's going on, they're talking about this book series, Bosom Bloodies. Okay. Teddy goes, "Oh, I read those books." Okay. So now we're hinting at Annie reading, what's his name?
Paul Sheldon's books.
Paul Sheldon's books and being obsessed with them. Next, obviously, Bob is bedridden. But next, Teddy feeds Bob soup. If that doesn't get any more misery, I don't know what does.
Does he spill some soup? And then flip out?
No.
Okay.
But then, and I wasn't thinking that they would go this far. Do you remember when Sheldon is just like, I need my pills. I need them right now because
Paul Sheldon.
Paul Sheldon.
Not young Sheldon, for those of you who
Did I just say that?
enjoy the big... No, you didn't say young Sheldon. The Big Bang Theory prequel show or whatever it is.
Do you remember in Misery when he's like, I need my pills because he needs to get Annie out of there so that he can hide the pills he stole?
Yeah.
So Bob does that whole thing. He's like, I need my pills. And then he takes the handcuffs and he hides them exactly where Paul does in that space in his like shirt and pants.
Oh, I love it.
And then Teddy comes back exactly how Annie says it in Misery. And he goes, you look sweaty. Which is exactly how it happens in Misery.
Wow, I love that. I
Isn't
can't
that
believe we didn't
wonderful?
notice that after watching it 8,000 times, both of them.
I know,
The
like we
episode-
are true Misery fans.
Yeah, the movie, not like
Not well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and then of course Bob falls off the couch. So it's Misery. Go watch Misery and appreciate it more.
There's not the worst part of Misery though, which even if you've watched it, I won't
Oh,
mention
my
what it
God.
is. If you've seen it, you know the worst part of Misery.
It's
It
horrible.
never leaves you. Yeah. Luckily, that's not in that episode. Teddy would never.
Too dark.
Yes.
Too dark for even Bob's.
Well,
All right, so
that was
that's
fun.
fun.
Are you ready to play a little Bob Hunter Max pun?
Oh, good
to get
Lord,
us back
yes.
into
The groove.
We are doing burger puns this week.
Oh, yay.
Okay. Wow. That I couldn't tell if that was sarcastic or
No,
not.
it really wasn't. I'm very excited.
Your first pun is the clear and present ginger burger.
Sorry, I have to be so honest with you. I was writing a recipe in my head for that mushroom burger.
Oh, I love that.
I want to make a recipe for our patrons, and I'm thinking of a burger right now. Anyway, can you repeat that?
Are you ready now? Can you?
I
is the
am.
mushroom burger out of your head? Because we got to
Not
talk
really,
about
but
this.
I'm ready. I can
Okay.
multitask.
Okay. The clear and present ginger burger.
I don't get it.
Clear and present danger. I think
Oh,
It's a Tom Clancy novel? Movie?
Bob's.
Yes.
Because you're not a Tom Clancy fan.
True. Video killed the Radicchio star burger. Video killed the Radicchio star.
Max?
Bob.
No.
Your next pun is never gonna give Blue up. Blue cheeseburger. Never gonna give Blue up.
I love that.
Never gonna let
I'm just
you
going to give it
down.
to you because I want it to be so bad.
Yes.
I love it.
And your final pun is Harry Potter and the Deathly Challah burgers.
Please be Max.
Challah burger. Challah burger.
Max.
And the Deathly Challah
Max.
burger. Yes.
I love that one.
Thank you. Okay. Good job, Skylar.
Thank
But
you.
we are ready to get in this episode.
Good Lord, yes.
I know. Skylar, can we have the title and synopsis for Season 7, Episode 8, please?
The title is Ex Mach Tina. When Tina sprains her ankle, she's given a robot to attend school for her, and Jimmy Jr. and Tina Robot hit it off in the AV closet. Tina desperately wants to go with Jimmy to the bonfire, but Jimmy only wants to go with robot Tina so that she can support his museums. Meanwhile, Gene and Louise secretly control the robot at night at school. And Bob, well, he's searching for that perfect banjo moment.
This episode came out on January 8th, 2017. It was written by Greg Thompson and directed by Brian Loschiavo. And we got a big jump. I think the last episode we had was in November, and then December, I guess, probably like football, bumped Bob's Burgers left and right, and now we're in January 8th. Big jump from 2016 to 2017 for those of you who are waiting in between episodes. Skylar and I weren't watching Bob's yet, so we didn't have that heartache throughout December. We feel for you.
We're sorry.
Tell me about this episode, Skylar. First of all, the title is a play on Ex Machina, one of my favorite movies. Skylar's rolling her eyes because I love that movie so much. It bothers her, even though she enjoys that movie, but not as much as I love that movie.
Well, I've only seen it once. I think we saw it in theaters together. Yes, we did.
Did we? We saw it in theaters?
Yeah, because I remember walking out of the movie and talking about how it was one of the... We were like on an escalator leaving the movie theater. We were talking about one of the Harry Potter actors that was in it.
Domhnall Gleeson, who is currently on The Patient on Hulu, which we've been watching. Oh my gosh.
You have to watch that show.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think this is how he pronounced his name. Dom, there's an H in there, Nall Gleeson. Yeah, he's the oldest Weasley brother in the Harry Potter, the one that you barely see in the movies.
He's had quite the career.
Yeah, he's in like the Star Wars movies, the new Star Wars movies, but it's him and Oscar Isaac.
Oh, sorry.
You fell asleep, yes.
Yeah, when you say Star Wars, I just fall asleep.
Hey, I'm with you.
Okay, I want to ask you, do we want to start with Bob's little storyline?
The banjo?
Yeah.
Because we kicked off the episode with that little intro? Yes. Skylar, this is your time to complain. Have you ever related to Linda Belcher more? Have I ever related to Bob Belcher more than in this episode? Tell the world.
This is us. This is us. When Linda is laying in bed and she's like, I haven't gone to sleep. He's like, oh, wait, can you just play that part?
Seriously, Bob, in bed.
So, not a banjo moment?
Let me check. No. Good night.
Night.
Bob, I swear to God.
I'm sorry, I thought you were asleep. I waited.
Bob.
Yep.
Maybe one of the funniest Bob scenes.
It's hilarious.
Definitely one of the most underrated Bob scenes.
I love the parts in the dark. I love the animation in the dark. How well you can see them and like just Bob like pretending to go to sleep so that he can just like go reach for his banjo. But tell everyone why you relate to that so much.
I think we've already told this story about how much... I don't want to say that I hate your banjo. It's just Max is musical, which is so freaking cool. He has this sexy ass guitar that I see right here. Does he pick it up, play me a love song, maybe strum some Bruce Springsteen in the other room that I can tap along to while I work? No. He picks up his banjo, and for the past 5 years, I kid you not, he has been learning the same like chord progression forever. So he's not doing any songs. He is just doing what Bob's doing. And it goes, dun, 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 dun. And the banjo is a little plucky and annoying musical instrument. You are right. I feel exactly how Linda feels.
In my defense, I don't think I've ever pulled it out while you were sleeping in bed next to me. That's more like you fall asleep and I watch something on TV that's got like gunshots and explosions or something, and you're like, what the hell?
When you watch like not Marvel shit, but like horrible action movies when I'm trying to go to bed, I'm just like, could they try to be any louder? Anyway, let's stop talking about ourselves. This is such a good runner. And while I do feel like I relate to Linda, I'm actually just like completely enchanted by Bob's storyline. I think it's so sweet that his like big when he gets the banjo and he's playing really well and you're like, oh my God, this is really good. And then you realize it's
His fantasy. Yeah,
His
that's me in my head
fantasy.
all the time. I get it.
I know
get
you get
And
it. How do you feel?
The Teddy line where he calls him an ethnic Steve Martin is hilarious to me.
Yeah, I also just really genuinely love Steve Martin and his banjo obsession.
Anytime, yeah, Steve Martin posts a banjo video, I'm just like, play for me, king.
One of the funniest moments, and we'll hear it before we go into the credits, is when Bob goes, Mr. Frond, and he wants to show him the banjo. Like, when has anyone ever approached Mr. Frond to have a conversation or, like, share anything with them? And Bob is just, like, on the Frond train.
Yeah, I think Bob has kind of, like, run through who he can show without them, like, getting annoyed by him. So he's had to resort to Mr. Frond.
Yes, and I also love when, like, a B story or a runner collides with the A story. And so we end this episode, they're all at the bonfire, and Bob's like, this is a banjo moment. And even Linda's like, yeah. So I really, really love that. I give this B story just all the stars, just raining banjo
Me too.
stars.
Me too. Let's go back. The episode, the main focus, this robot.
Tina and Jimmy Jr. Whew, will they, won't they?
We get into the psyche of Jimmy Jr. in this episode more than ever.
Yeah.
Tina gets locked in the AV monitor closet,
Yeah.
and he ends up in that closet to, like, he's, like, going there to, like, curse his dad by himself.
Which I loved. And I love that he, like, dances in the closet. Like, that's how he feels his feelings, is through dance. I just genuinely love that.
And he has to go do it in the closet.
It's so sweet.
I mean, maybe a metaphor.
Maybe a metaphor, but keep going.
So he's in there and eventually ends up talking to Tina, and they have their longest face-to-face conversation.
This is Tina's dream. And
Yeah.
it was really nostalgic for me. I don't know if you, like, talked on the phone with your crush for, like, hours, and there's just literally nothing better than that. Did you have those moments?
Yes.
I mean, just talking on the phone. I think, and we'll get into this, but I think what's so special about it is it's very vulnerable and awkward to be in person, and there's something so safe about the phone. And I think that's what we have going on with Jimmy Jr. a little bit.
Yeah, because it's a screen, it's not completely in person. It helps kind of like ease that comfortability. Although he does seem very self-absorbed.
I was going to say, I went through so many different emotions in this episode. And I was just feeling so sad for Tina. Like, he's using her. He's using her to, like, for therapy.
Yeah, to make himself feel better.
She's not getting much back.
No.
That being said, so I have a major problem with how Jimmy Jr. treats Tina in this, like a major problem. That being said, Jimmy Jr., he's already having trouble with his dad. We know he's the worst dad in the world. I think that what can you expect from him? I think he probably no one has taught him how to be kind or vulnerable. So this, like, is a big step for him. Like, he is doing a good job, but at the end of the day, he is being an asshole.
Oh, wow. I love this analysis. I think you nailed it with him.
I had a few days to think about it.
I guess so.
How do you feel about how Jimmy Jr. was treating Tina?
I think it's very, like, this is why this cartoon is so good. It's so intelligent for a cartoon. Like, we know why Jimmy Jr. kind of acts this way based on who his dad is and how his dad treats him. You know? He's not like... He's a kid still. You know, he's still learning, but he's self-absorbed for, like, two reasons. Like, his dad is that way. His dad is cocky and arrogant and thinks everything he does is the best. So he pulls that from his dad, but he also doesn't get the attention from his dad that he needs. And Tina kind of gives him that attention. So he, like, piles on Tina and just, like, you know, it's all about him.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a very, not to get too gendered, it's a dynamic that I guess I'll just say I've seen in myself is kind of this, I'll save you, I'll be your support. And then you blink and you're like, wait, what about me? A year's gone by and like all you're doing is like helping this person or like fixing them. How do you feel about like the happy moments when they kiss on the beach or when there is like genuine connection? Are you happy for Tina? Are you like, no, girl?
I'm happy for Tina. I'm like, she's got to go through this stuff. You and I both know, we've discussed this numerous times, that she's not ending up with Jimmy Jr.
No.
We know who she's ending up with.
We're Team Zeke.
Yeah. So she needs to go through this stuff with him. And so I'm happy for her. They're.
And I think she needed to experience it too.
Mm-hmm.
The highs and how he's treating her. And I really love the family gathering around her and being like, this isn't right. Like this isn't right. You need to go to the beach. I thought that was like such a healing, wonderful moment.
I agree.
How do you feel about Louise and Gene's story with the robot?
I love it. We get them as the robot during the nighttime hours at Wagstaff, roaming the halls with the security guard who we've seen in Burger Boss way back when. I guess he's
really
at
the arcade.
Yes, I guess he's just like security for hire. Apparently,
it's
maybe
like the photographer.
Maybe he does the arcade during the day and then does Wagstaff at night. But we learned that his name is Yuli here, and this is the first time we hear his name. And I love his interaction with the robot. I love them convincing him that he should obey the robot. There's one part where Yuli advises the robot to avoid Philly. And this was in reference to, at the time, or like it was a couple years after, there was a famous like hitchhiking robot that was making its way through the United States, I think.
What?
And it was destroyed by vandals in Philadelphia. So I think that's what he meant there.
Oh, I never would have picked up that reference.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's like so far gone now, but it was in all the news and stuff that Hitchbot was, making its way through wherever it was going.
Oh
and
my
then
goodness.
It got attacked.
What year was this? Do you know?
That was in 2015. This was in 2017. This episode came out. So it was
all right. Hitchhiking
probably
robot.
written around the time. Yeah.
Not that y'all need to know this, but we have this test center right by our apartment that is testing delivery food robots. So like instead of having a DoorDash person or a delivery person, the robot delivers your food to them. But the robots practice outside of our apartment.
Yeah, we always cheer them on.
And we go. What are they?
Called Coco. Yeah.
Go, Coco. And it's so cute. Like when it stops to like cross the street, like it's very Wall-E. I imagine it looking both ways, and it's just the cutest thing ever.
I love those little robots.
Oh, by the way, thank you to everyone who was sending us the TikTok of the kid who actually had this robot situation.
The
that
Tina robot, yes. Not
Explain
the Coco
it.
robot. But like, yeah, a kid actually he was like not in school and he had this little robot that it looks just like the Tina robot from the show in school. He's rolling around.
This was this
on the
year.
Screen. Yeah.
It's exactly the same. But he got it because he was misbehaving in school, so he wasn't allowed to come to school, but had to come to school as a robot.
I would misbehave left and right if that's what I got to do.
You just ram into people.
Yes, keep me out of school and I'll just be a freaking robot at school.
Oh my gosh, I can see you just like hiding in the closet of a teacher's room and just like whispering scary shit.
As the robot?
As the robot.
Oh, I would do that as just myself.
Max got in so much trouble when he was a kid.
I was such a troublemaker. One time my mom substitute taught for my class.
Uh-huh.
And I gave her, like, I would not let her teach. I was so disruptive. She never did it again. She was like,
I think you wanted her attention.
Probably. I'm like Jimmy Jr.
You're like Jimmy Jr. Yeah.
Speaking of which, this is the first time we hear about Jimmy Jr.'s mom since Fortnite in season 4.
In the form of museums.
Yeah.
So as someone who grew up with a single mom who was dating, I think one of his museums is like, my mom's friend Stan is okay.
Yeah.
I have never felt a sentence so hard in my life.
It's hard to be mad at Jimmy Jr. even though he does not treat Tina well.
Yeah.
Because of his home life.
Yeah.
Also, Andy and Ollie have each other. He doesn't
Actually-
have that.
Let me take that back.
Yeah,
It's so easy to be mad at Jimmy Jr.
that's true. We do get pretty mad at him.
Yeah.
I think we should make our way into the end credits unless you have something
I have
else to talk about.
Maybe 2 more points.
Tell me.
What do you think this note means? Hair's back, handling her amble.
I don't even know if that was English.
Okay, so one of my favorite Tina lines in this episode is when Frond is pitching this robot idea, and the program is called Rump. And so he says, da-da-da, Rump. And Tina goes, I'm listening. I was just dying. And then we'll end on a very sweet note before we go into the credits. Jimmy Jr. has a shit dad. So when Bob comes up to support him and he goes, you get it, you do your thing, just listen to my musical changes. It was a really, really wonderful moment for me.
Yeah, it's special.
It is special. And I imagine if like maybe Jimmy Jr. and Tina started dating when they're like 15 and it lasts for like 2 months, I can imagine that Jimmy would get a lot out of having Bob around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about bringing these two storylines together, and so like the top of the iceberg is the like basic like banjo and robot.
Yes.
You know, but underneath we have this Jimmy Jr. looking for kind of like, again, like some attention and recognition from his father for his art and what he
Yes.
likes, and that's dancing and music. He's very creative.
Yes.
And here comes Bob, who's also been looking for that connection kind of with his music. And there you go.
I love it.
Yeah.
So Bob got something from that moment. And then in true Bob's Burgers fashion, you don't want it to get too cheesy. They hit us with an amazing joke. Jimmy Jr. is done. And Bob's like, oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah. And we're going to play the last moment. It's, believe it or not, the last moment before the end credits is a Zeke moment, which is great. But we'll play that last moment we were talking about with Bob saying, going to Mr. Frond. Then the Zeke moment. Then we get to the end credits.
Let's do it.
Hey, Mr. Front, check it out. Banjo solo.
Listen, I've been a little hard on you, but you stepped back at the right moment. I respect that. But I still gotta put you in the ocean. So get over here, get in the ocean.
Oh, no, Zeke!
Watching you from a distant place.
Skylar, after that moment with Zeke dragging the robot into the ocean, Mr. Frond has clearly had to run away from Bob's banjo to go make sure Zeke doesn't destroy that robot, which probably costs a lot of money. What happens? Where are we? What's the end credit sequence here?
We are in the classic end credits kitchen sequence. Bob is at the grill. Tina is dancing next to Jimmy Jr., who is doing a dance. What? Your eyes went like, what?
Oh, Jimmy Jr.'s just like going to town. He is dancing his ass off.
This move is actually a plant and payoff situation. He did this dance in the AV closet, but it was off screen because it was so low you couldn't see it. How I describe these moves are, if you guys have seen the Nutcracker, the Russian, the dun 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 dun, all those moves. I'm surprised he didn't do like a toe touch.
It's like a low bend, leg kick, hands out kind of thing, right?
Yes.
I know. I'm sure it has something specific, that move, or it has a specific title or name.
Yes.
But I like my version.
I love your version.
Yeah. It's tough to describe stuff on a podcast sometimes.
It's so hard.
And Tina is just kind of dancing like Tina next to him.
You know what? This is metaphorical.
Mm-hmm.
She's there just supporting him, but letting him
Shine.
be the star.
Yeah. Tina's moving her arms when she's dancing, though. That's a little rare.
Yeah, very. Oh my gosh. We were at the park yesterday, and this young teenager was just running full on, exactly like Tina. Like not moving his arms.
Arms back. Yeah.
It was hysterical.
We should note that Bob is the only one prepping burgers right now.
That's true. That's true.
He's all alone.
I'm calling you from my home base.
Tina's not taking her eyes off of Jimmy Jr.
To the moon, now my message is cold, and the moon is so cold, it's so cold. I can't.
Sorry, I had to let it play because, first of all, let's talk about the song real quick.
Yeah.
John Roberts singing that song fantastic.
Perfection.
This is from, there's a little montage in
You gotta have a rom-com robot montage.
the episode, and this is that song pulled straight from there. And I don't know how else to explain it other than that Jimmy Jr. is going off. He's doing...
Do you know how hard that would be?
Yeah, he is a dancer.
He squats all the way to the ground and then does a 360 jump and spin. He does that like 4 times. Do you understand the cardiovascular strength that takes?
It's incredible. And you're right. You were saying as it was playing that Tina cannot take her eyes off Jimmy Jr. She is just watching him and in awe. And honestly, I can't either in this.
It's true. And how dare his dad not respect this?
Yeah.
That's talent.
We all know his dad's an ass.
Like everybody.
Yeah. But what else happens here as all that music was playing? I know we had a lot of Jimmy Jr. dancing, but right kind of like around where I paused it, we get appearances by the rest of the family who've been missing.
All right. So we get Louise and Gene riding the robot into the kitchen around behind Jimmy Jr. and Tina. But what do we see in the window?
Linda is in the window, and you turned to me and asked me, what is Linda doing? And
What is she holding?
Yes, she is holding the remote control for the robot. So she is controlling it, letting her kids ride it all around the kitchen.
Well, not only letting her kids, she's literally
enjoying and having a blast.
I love when these parents, Linda and Bob, get in on something that is not appropriate for adults to condone. So messing around with school property is not like maybe the best, but it's the best to watch.
Yeah, I like to think this is after the beach. They all came home. They somehow convinced Fran to let them take the robot home, or they didn't even tell him and just took it. And this is we're all celebrating.
Can you imagine them just riding it home from the beach?
So good.
Linda controlling it.
Yeah, it would take a very long time, I feel like. It does not move very fast.
No, especially probably if you put more weight on it. It's probably
Yeah.
very slow. This is one of my favorite things about Bob. This is pandemonium. This is chaos. And Bob's just cooking. And the restaurant is probably closed. He's probably cooking dinner for everyone, including Jimmy Jr., even though he's a little shit to his daughter. It's great.
I wish Bob had his banjo around his...
But let's really talk about this.
Well, he
If
said
this-
he said he was about to give it away. So if this was after the beach, maybe they stopped and just he had his banjo moment and he gave it away.
No.
Okay.
I think Jimmy Jr. got invited back after because Jimmy Jr. doesn't want to go home to his dad who does not understand his art. So I think maybe after burgers, Bob plays a little banjo. Jimmy Jr. dances to the banjo. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay, so yeah, Bob's making dinner and then he's going to break the banjo out. That seems fair.
But you are right that it does have to go.
Before we finish up, this the very end of these credits. Do you want to hear these lyrics?
I really do because I didn't really get to hear the lyrics in the episode.
Yeah, it's a little hard. So it's watching you from a distant place. I'm calling you from my home base. My satellite's spinning right out of control. Transmission to the moon. Now my messages go. And the moon is so cold. It's so cold. I can see food on your face. Watching you from a distant place.
Okay, so the food line is a callback to the episode. This reminds me of that song, Satellite of Love, that 80s song.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's very 80s. It's like Satellite of Love. And so it's like all this spacey tech stuff love song.
Ah, I know Dave Matthews' Satellite.
Oh.
Satellite in my eyes. That was like the Adam Sandler version of that song. Slabba hoo hoo.
It was. So is this like 80s synth pop, like tech?
I guess, I mean, that seems like an area where John Roberts thrives. So I
Yeah,
would think
absolutely.
so, yeah. I don't know what it's necessarily...
I do wonder if this is inspired a little bit by Satellite of Love.
It could be. I don't think I know that song,
Should
so
I
you
look up
might
the
be right.
lyrics?
Sure.
Satellite's gone up to the sky. Things like that drive me out of my mind. I watched it for a little while. I love to watch things on TV. Oh, satellite of love. Ah, satellite of love. Oh, satellite of love. Satellite's gone way up to Mars. Soon it will be filled with parking cars. I watched it for a little while. I love to watch things on TV. Ah, Satellite of Love.
Yeah, that sounds more like he's actually got kind of a crush on an actual satellite, which I guess works for this too.
That's true.
Does the song itself sound like this song, or is it more?
We'll pull it up. No, it's slower.
Oh, okay. We don't have to listen.
Okay, thanks.
Should
Thanks for my
Okay.
shooting my theory out of the sky.
I just don't have the patience to pull it up right
I know,
now.
me
Sorry.
neither.
For those of you listening and you want to hear Satellite by Lou Reed of the Velvet Underground and not you two, go look it up. Let's finish these end credits and then
Okay.
score them.
Seafood on your face.
Oh, Jimmy's out of breath.
From a distant place.
Look at me, I'm a robot.
Yeah, Jimmy Jr. kind of like gasses out and needs to take a few breaths as Louise and Gene are spinning around him. We see that the robot on the screen is the robot that they pretended to be, not Tina's face, obviously. And Jimmy Jr. he catches his breath, but he goes right back
He's
to it for
huffing
the
and
end.
puffing, and then he's right into it. Again.
Yeah, and then we leave that screen to go to like kind of like the closing title cards, and we get that lovely little bonus Jocelyn voice.
Okay, I do have a question for you.
Yeah, I love Jocelyn. Yes.
Would it be funnier if it said, is he on our grade?
I guess so, except for this kind of has to do with the robot.
I know, but I'm asking you which would be funnier.
Look at toss in any Jocelyn line there, and I would be happy. The kid's arm looks like a burrito at the end of this. I don't care.
I love it so much.
Highlights, lowlights for these end credits.
I think I've like gassed myself out.
Should we just score them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the satellite lyric lookup second, and I've edited that down, by the way. At this point, we spent a long time on that
I was
satellite
thrown
section.
off by
lookup.
you too. Like, what
Wow.
am I supposed to do?
Yeah. We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's Go ahead. You're
No,
going
you go
first.
first.
No, you go first.
I did not know I was going to go this high, but there was just something about the chaos of it all and like following this like Jimmy Jr. and Bob moment up by inviting him back to the restaurant and like Tina and Jimmy ending on a good note, the kids getting to be themselves, Linda getting to be on it, and this amazing music, and then bam, Jocelyn just takes you home.
Yeah, that knocks it up like a half a point for me. Just tossing in that Jocelyn voice.
I'm going 9.5.
Yeah, listen. I know we can't. I know after we've recorded and the scores are out there, we can't go back because it's out there. We released a Large Brother Where Fart Thou recently, and I cannot believe I scored those so high. I'm like, what were you like? I must have been hyped up on Cap. They're great end credits, but these are much better, and I gave those a 9.75, and I'm giving these a 9.5 with you, and I think these are much better than those
Yeah,
end
we
credits.
fuck up.
Yeah. So let's take those down a bit, and these are a 9.5 for sure. I'm with you right there.
Maybe on Patreon we should do our biggest misses and like rescore them. That could be kind of fun.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. We have to make a list though.
Yeah. Good job plugging our Patreon at the end of the episode. That's pretty natural. Patreon.com/Bob's Credits. Thank you everyone for listening. Those were the end credits to Ex Machina. Go watch Ex Machina. Great movie. Skylar's rolling her eyes.
Oh no.
Go watch Misery.
Yes.
Great movie. Go follow us on social media. Bob's Credits, wherever you social media. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Oh, hello, it's Max. You can follow Skylar on Instagram.
No crying and cooking.
And what else? Anything else we got to say?
I'm just going to say we Sato Lido love you all.
Oh, not like a stay something. It's a satellite of love.
I wanted to spice things up.
Yeah, let's go look up some more lyrics.
Okay.